One Birmingham high school providing students with hands-on career experience. More on how students split their week between classes and corporate life. And authorities are investigating anonymous racist text messages sent to several Black Americans across the U.S. following Tuesday's election. Who can be held responsible? But first, history made once again at historic Rickwood Field. How one organization is transforming challenges into opportunities.
And we've seen a lot of scattered showers today on radar. Heavier rain still remaining to our west, but as that cold front gets a little bit closer and approaches us, could we have more widespread rain for Sunday? What about Veterans Day? We'll take a look at all that in the full 7-day coming up.
Live, streaming, and on the ABC 3340 app. This is ABC 3340 News Weekend.
Good evening, I'm Olivia Gauthier. History was made once again today at historic Rickwood Field. Today was Alternative Baseball's first annual game at the historic ballpark, playing positive inclusion of those with disabilities. The event starred athletes with disabilities, community leaders, and former baseball pros. Founded by Taylor Duncan in 2013, Alternative Baseball has expanded to over a dozen states. Alternative Baseball's mission is to create empowerment and enrichment through authentic baseball for teens and adults with autism and other disabilities. It was a great turnout Saturday afternoon, and it's an event that Duncan hopes to see grow.
It's just another chapter in the long story of integration here at Rickwood Field. You have the Negro Leagues, the Birmingham Black Barons. You've had the actual Birmingham Barons that came later afterward. Then you have the yearly Rickwood Classic here, and now you have us opening up yet another chapter after the hundreds of Hall of Famers that have played here since 1909. And it's just been a fantastic time, fantastic experience, and we're very thankful for the great support of the community here.
And you can find more information about Alternative Baseball and how to get involved now on our website, abc3340.com. One high school in Birmingham is offering students the opportunity to split their week between attending classes and working professional jobs within the community. Today, the Holy Family Cristo Rey Catholic High School hosted an admissions open. Prospective students and their families were able to tour the school, explore academic programs, and learn about HFCR's distinctive corporate work study program, which prepares students with real-world job experience alongside their high school education.
Instead of asking our families to pay all that money, they pay a little bit, not a lot, but really what our students are the ones that earn their tuition. So that's where the work study program comes into play. So our students, they're in school 4 days a week. They go to work 1 day a week at different corporate offices around the city of Birmingham.
Previously located in Inslee, the Holy Family Cristo Rey Catholic High School is now located in the Titusville neighborhood and is a member of the Cristo Rey Network, one of 40 Catholic college preparatory schools that today serve more than 12,000 students across 24 states. And some much needed rain today that was then followed briefly by some sunshine. ABC 3340's Riley Blackwell joins us now. Riley, it's feeling pretty muggy outside right now.
Yeah, we still have a pretty strong southerly flow coming in, but a fairly dynamic weather system remains out to our west. And as that front pushes further to the east, we could have more widespread showers, mainly looking at tomorrow. But radar right now having a couple of showers in parts of Blount County, Coleman County, and in parts of Winston County over Smith Lake. Those are generally moving off to the north, and most of us will likely remain dry for tonight. And temperatures are still in the middle 70s for some. 77 down in Centerville, 75 Greensboro, Utah, Demopolis, 76 Tuscaloosa, 73 Birmingham, 72 in Pell City. Now, temperatures not going to be falling too much tonight with the clouds and moisture we have in place right now. But also with the clouds, with the moisture, with a little bit of lift with that front, we're likely going to have more widespread rain chances tomorrow. We'll time out all those rain chances and look at the upcoming week coming up.
Aaliyah is investigating a fatal crash that occurred early Saturday morning. The crash occurred on Coleman County 648 near Coleman County 649. Police say the single vehicle crash happened around 3:30 a.m., claiming the life of 63-year-old Hansville native Jeffrey Horton. Authorities say he was driving a Ford 350 when he left the roadway and struck a tree. He later succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. And a man in Blount County has been arrested on alleged child solicitation charges. The Blount County Sheriff's Office says Roy George of Remlap was arrested on charges electronic solicitation of a child, human trafficking, and traveling to meet a child. George was booked on Saturday, November 2nd, and released yesterday. No other information is available at this time. In a bizarre Friday morning for neighbors in Calera, those neighbors dialed 911 to report a naked man damaging their vehicles and property in the Camden Cove neighborhood. Deputies took Caleb John Sims into custody and booked him into the Shelby County Jail. The man was found naked, covered in blood. Police say Sims admitted to being under the influence. Officers say the man advanced at them, refusing to listen. Police ended up tasing Sims to take him into custody. And a man in Birmingham is in police custody in connection to a deadly shooting. Malik Ferris is charged with murder, theft of property, and criminal mischief. On Monday, BPD officers responded to reports of shots fired on 5th Street North, where they found 20-year-old Amaria Caffey dead on the front porch of a house. The Etowah County Sheriff's Office is warning community members to beware of scam calls pretending to be from the Sheriff's Office or other law enforcement agencies. The scammers often identify themselves as deputies or investigators. Their goal is to solicit money by falsely alleging that you have outstanding warrants, unpaid tickets, missed court appearances, or other legal issues. Authorities also say the scammers may even spoof the phone number to make it appear legitimate. Law enforcement agencies will never request money over the phone or threaten you with legal action in this way. A telephone scam involving jury duty is happening in Jefferson County. District Attorney David Carr released a statement warning the public. Carr says the person uses the district attorney's office phone number and claims to be with the office, telling people they have failed to report for jury duty. One recipient was told they would be arrested. Carr says people receiving the call should end the call immediately, not provide any information, and notify local law enforcement. An Elmore County grand jury issues no indictments in the prison torture killing of Daniel Williams. The 22-year-old Williams was serving a one-year sentence at Station Correctional Facility and was just days from release. District Attorney C.J. Robinson said the grand jury considered murder, criminally negligent homicide, and manslaughter charges. Williams was beaten and sexually assaulted, according to reports. The family of a missing University of Alabama student, Garrett Walker, who was later found dead in the Black Warrior River November of 2021, is now adding Delta Chi fraternity to a new lawsuit. The family believes Delta Chi failed to uphold the core values of the fraternity. The lawsuit against the organization also says the family believes a hazing investigation that led to Garrett being banned from the fraternity house and its members is partially to blame for his death.
As, had he not been wrongfully kept away from his fraternity house and his brothers, he would have been celebrating the LSU game with them on November 6th and not where he was eventually.
Hayes says the University of Alabama is not a party in this litigation. However, the case against the Gray Lady Bar is still open. We have reached out to the International Delta Chi for a comment and have yet to get a response as of this time. The transition to a second Trump presidency has begun. The president-elect has been reaching out to world leaders and is set to meet with current President Joe Biden at the White House this coming Wednesday. Democrats are now picking up the pieces following Tuesday's loss. ABC's Christine Cordero has more.
President-elect Donald Trump will return to the White House for the first time since he left office nearly 4 years ago. President Biden extending the invitation for the two men to meet in the Oval Office on Wednesday.
Elon Musk!
As the transition to a second Trump presidency continues to move forward, growing questions about what role Elon Musk could have in the Trump administration. Sources tell ABC News Musk has been on calls the president-elect has had with foreign leaders from Mar-a-Lago, including Ukrainian President Zelensky and Turkish President Erdogan. At one point, Musk speaking to Zelensky himself, who thanked the tech billionaire for his Starlink system, which Ukraine has relied on for communications during its war with Russia.
We have a new star A star is born, Elon.
Musk has proposed a new Department of Government Efficiency, saying he can slash $2 trillion of waste from the federal budget.
We have liftoff.
But since his company SpaceX currently receives billions of dollars in federal government contracts, a role in the administration could create conflicts of interest. Meanwhile, just days after Harris's devastating loss, Democrats now starting to assess what went wrong. Former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi telling the New York Times she thinks the party would have benefited from President Biden dropping out earlier, saying there may have been other candidates in the race. The anticipation was that if the president were to step aside, that there would be an open primary. Adding that a competitive primary may have helped the vice president, saying, quote, I think she would have done well in that and been stronger going forward. But we don't know that. That didn't happen. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
And the FBI is still investigating racist text messages that were sent to Black Americans across several states this week. The messages were reported in at least 20 states. They invoked slavery, telling recipients to show up with their belongings to various addresses at particular times. Some messages mentioned the incoming Trump administration. It's not clear who is responsible. And did the 2024 election season represent a turning point for Americans and the media? ABC 3340's Matt Galka says new media is being celebrated in the wake of Donald Trump's victory.
I knew exactly where I was hit.
Donald Trump embraced podcasters this election cycle, appearing on the highly popular Joe Rogan podcast, an episode that has more than 47 million views on YouTube so far.
How long have we been talking?
A long time.
Let's go.
Probably like 3 hours.
I got to make a speech.
Right.
But we'll do it again. I want to do it again.
And he embraced the influential figure's endorsement.
I was honored to get Joe Rogan last night. I mean, Joe Rogan's a big deal. He's a very respected person.
Then there was UFC CEO Dana White shouting out a who's who of streamers at Trump's victory speech.
This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelk Boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, Bustin' with the Boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan.
New media had a big moment this election season, with some in legacy media admitting they took a hit.
Well, first I think we have to acknowledge that Donald Trump knows our country better than we do.
There's no love lost between Trump and traditional media. And some experts say his win, while bucking many traditional outlets, could be a wake-up call.
I would say that the media does need to do some introspection in terms of how they predicted this election. And I think that that's going on kind of writ large in terms of, did we read the electorate correctly, particularly the media that gets involved in polling and other kind of election predictions? Are they really paying attention to what's going on in the everyday American life?
If ratings are any indication, the number of people consuming election coverage through traditional television channels was down across the board. There was a 26% drop compared to just 4 years ago. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Galka.
Starting Monday, there is a planned ramp on I-65 in Blount County drivers will want to know about. AlDOT will be closing the northbound entry and exit ramps on I-65 at the State Route 160 interchange in Blount County. Work will start at 8 p.m. November 10th and will reopen Monday at 5:30 a.m. A detour for the northbound entrance ramp will direct drivers to US 31 and enter via the I-65 entrance on Cane Creek Road. The ramps will be closed nightly from 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. until November 15th. An update on Alabama champion Miss Terry and Nick Saban were elated when Birmingham artist Steve Skipper revealed his tribute to the coach. Steve Skipper painstakingly used many thousands of paint strokes to put incredible detail into the Saban painting recently revealed at the University of Alabama. You may recall Steve Skipper recently had been commissioned by the royal family to do a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. He is internationally renowned, but his heart remains with Alabama. The nation's longest-running Veterans Day Parade will take place in Birmingham on Monday. This is the annual event's 77th year running. The parade is set to start at 1 p.m. and last until 3 p.m. For those to find a link to watch the event live. Veterans Day is right around the corner, and the Birmingham Zoo is giving free admission to military members and their dependents to celebrate the holiday. Free admission applies to active and retired service members and their dependents up to age 6. The zoo will be open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now let's get back over to meteorologist Riley Blackwell with your Weather Authority forecast. Riley, what can people expect?
Well, it really all depends on where you're at. If you're in the northern portion of the state, north of Birmingham, some stray showers will be likely through the rest of the evening, but most of us tomorrow are likely going to be dealing with some showers as this fairly dynamic system out to our west continues to move off to the east. Some fairly heavy rain falling through parts of Louisiana right now, but as of right now, looking down at it, Baton Rouge remains relatively dry. Of course, things could change, but storms are still likely going to be taking somewhat of a north-northeast track. But waking up tomorrow morning, the heaviest of the rain and the heaviest of the thunderstorms will be falling apart. That's still likely going to leave us with a few stray showers tomorrow morning, and of course more rain, especially right now looking south of Birmingham as we go throughout the afternoon and evening hours on Sunday as this front stretches through. And then by Monday, it's sort of going to stall out overhead, partly becoming stationary. And as it trogs down to the south, a couple of stray showers are certainly possible, but then high pressure starts to build in, and Tuesday will be looking fine. And we could still be getting a little bit of moisture from Tropical Storm Raphael. We're currently at 50 miles per hour. 1,000 millibars, but really it's not expected to do much. It's going to take a little bit of a northward track, then start moving back down to the south and west, gradually weakening as it makes its way towards the Bay of Campeche and the eastern portions of Mexico. It still could bring some fairly heavy rain down there, but no impacts are expected here locally. But now let's get past Tuesday. This high pressure builds in. Overall, we should be just fine on Tuesday. Then looking at Wednesday, we're going to have another front approaching and still plentiful Gulf moisture, and we could have some fairly widespread rain showers throughout the day, or maybe Wednesday night and potentially throughout the day on Thursday. Likely nothing too terribly heavy, but it is another decent chance of rain, and once that front pushes its way through, it is going to start to feel better. But in terms of those rainfall amounts, still right now not looking incredibly impressive. Most of us should be expecting about 1/100th of an inch to about 1/10 of an inch, potentially all the way as high as maybe 3/4 of an inch or upwards of an inch in some spots. But right now, any rain that we get is still beneficial rain. Overnight tonight, though, we still could have a few spotty showers. Clouds will be hanging around and fairly warm and muggy, upper 50s and lower to middle 60s. But the next several days, remember Sunday, more widespread rain. Chance for a few stray showers on Monday. Tuesday will be looking just fine, but then better rain chances Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That'll likely drop our overnight lows down into the potentially 40s and 50s. Afternoon highs still likely remaining in the lower 70s.
And you can scan the QR code here on your screen to get access to the ABC 3340 weather app. The app gives you access to live radar, James's weather blog, and the 7-day forecast. That's all for our time now at 6. Be sure to watch us on your TV tonight at 10. Jeff Spiegel will have your end of game wrap. Have a great evening. Thanks for watching.